This is 1998 Cannondale Raven full suspension carbon bike, and this is 2017 Merida 96 team. 2017 1998. Guys, was there a revolution in bikes industry and engineering or not? Well, I think you have to answer this question for yourselves, but I'm going to show you exactly what has changed over 20 years of engineering, changing the sports, changing the industry, changing also our lifestyle and riding style. That's changed so much. So let's start. What has changed within these 20 years is for sure the wheel size. That was probably one of the biggest leaps that the bike industry has made. 29-inch wheel, 26-inch wheel. We can still find lots of very cool 27.5-inch wheels that would be just like in the middle between this one and this one. But yes, this has made a difference. Most of the riders you will ask, cross-country riders, trail riders, maybe trail a little bit less, but cross-country, marathon will tell you that 29ers roll better, are faster, are just better, and period. Amen. That's what they say. I love my 96, my Nini, but 29-inch wheel are not the best ones for me. I would probably shoot for 27.5 right now. 26-inch wheel have had everything we needed in the terrain. That's what I think. Yes, 29er has some advantages of over 26, but if you were going right now, for example, to build a super lightweight bike with the technology we have available in 2017, 26 it would be extremely light. As an example, this is the 96 team bike with super duper high-end stuff, so components, and it weighs 10 kilos. This is 1998, I said, bike, and this one weighs 11.7, but this is not the highest model. You could have bought the instead of the P-bone, you could have bought the fatty air spring fork in the front. That would be lighter. You could have bought lighter crankset. This is super heavy as for today's with the square taper, and many other things could be lighter on the bike. 11.7 20 years ago, not the highest model, is pretty damn good. So that's what I think. So the wheel size has changed. Another thing that has changed with the wheels as well is the drivetrain. Let's see. 2017, we've got 1-byte drivetrain, super popular in cross-country, marathons, trail riding, and so, in my opinion, the best drivetrain for trail riding, not the best for cross-country and MTB marathon. That's what I think. Here, 1998, we've got 3x8. Versatile, super easy to change the gears in the rear, and super easy to set the right exact cadence for your best power output. So this one, pretty good. Changing the gears in the front also no problem, but there is so little differences, I'm going to show you, between the sprockets here in the rear, and that makes changing the gears much better. This one here, that's what is, in my opinion, the best cassette in the world. That's the SRAM Eagle. It could be XX1, it could be even GX, as I have already in my studio. Super cassette, but not the best for everything, and not very easy to set the right cadence for you. So that's what has changed. No derailleur in the front is really cool for trail riding, the best. I think enduro riders love it so much. But for cross-country and marathons, I would prefer 2x. So that's the difference. Another thing that has really improved is the rear derailleurs. Both SRAM and Shimano have now the clutch system. You can see it right there. That makes this derailleur super stable. This is like, I cannot even move it. This is super stable, very good. We are not hitting the chainstays with the chain. It's silent, great. In the past, we had something like this, very, very weak. And I'm surprised because simply putting some stronger spring right here would improve the derailleur, but that's what we had in the past. So this is very easy. And that's one of the biggest improvements. Let's go to the shifters. Here we have Shimano Rapid Fires, and these are pretty much the same as in the past. Now the Shimano shifters also have the instant release, and they also allow you to change the gear with this lever by pushing and pulling, so really cool. And you can also upshift by 2, in the past only by 1, so multiple shifting up the cassette, but down the cassette just 1 by 1. Let's look at the SRAM. SRAM doesn't have the systems that Shimano has, but it's super smooth. Each little movement of the of your shifter will translate to the movement of your derailleur. So this is really lovely, changing the gears here. I'm doing a lot of night riding right now, so sorry for all the equipment. This is very, very cool. Let's move forward. Okay, we know this bike weighs 10 kilos, this one 11.7, but the frames have changed a lot. Now we have a lot more travel, This is the cross-country bike, and it's not designed for trail riding, for some maybe rougher terrain. We have 100 millimeters in the front, 100 millimeters in the rear. This bike was made for both cross-country and trail. It was more like all mountain bike in the past. 60 millimeters of travel in the front. You could buy the fatty version, which had 70, maybe up to 80 millimeters, and 80 millimeters in the front. That makes a lot of difference. The frames, the carbon now is so much lighter and pretty durable, so that has changed. I wouldn't say the older carbon would not be durable, was not durable. There were some problems with cracking frames, and Cannondale actually abandoned this design, the sandwich design. But one thing that is still same on both bikes is the single pivot design. So we have, on many modern bikes, we have just one pivot here, and just around that pivot the wheel will move. It's same right there. Here's the pivot. But in terms of the pedal bob, this one with additional linkage, which we don't have here, is much better. So this has improved a lot. I would not say by any means this was crap or this was bad. If you had the good pedaling technique, you can ride this one in cross-country races. I would love to use this one, but I'm gonna sell this one, and this is more like a vintage bike for somebody just to have it in at home and not ride it. It would be a shame to ride this bike, but I would love to show you that this one with the right pedaling technique is actually not bad. This one will forgive you so much. So you have more travel here, and almost no pedal bob. I think Merida say on their website no pedal bob at all, like many manufacturers. There is some, but it is super little, not annoying. You cannot see, you cannot even feel it when you are riding. When I'm putting the camera on the frame, then I can see I have some pedal bob there, but it's very, very little. So this has been improved a lot. The next thing is the brakes. Here we've got the V-brakes. Here we've got the disc brakes. Because of the Eagle, you don't see the disc brake rotor, but there in the front you see. If you want to see it closer, this is the disc brake. So we have a disc which is mounted on the hub, and then a caliper which is mounted on the fork. So no rubbing, no braking on the rim itself. All the braking is here, and it's of course hydraulic. There are many brakes, mechanical brakes in nowadays, still very good, like TRP Spire I reviewed for you just a couple of days ago. Let's see the V-brakes. And here we have the older design. I loved it. I really loved the V-brakes. These are easy, light, and pretty strong because you see the rim is actually our braking rotor. So it is much larger than the rotors on the disc brakes. So these were not poor brakes. The hydraulic disc brakes in nowadays have better modulation, and yes, they do have better power. But I can just be as fast on these brakes as on these. Maybe just my fingers, my palms, my hands would get tired if I was to ride for a whole day, like some rough trail riding with the V-brakes comparing to the disc brakes. So that's changed a lot. And the last thing I'm gonna mention is the tires. We used to ride really thin tires and it was bad. I don't understand why were we using 1.95 tires for some aggressive MTB rides. Now we are using 2.1, 2.2, 2.4 for trail riding. This was 1.95 with an option of 2.1, if I remember well. Yes, these IRC were also available in 2.1. So now we've got much wider tires and also tubeless. So here we have the inner tubes, here with no inner tubes. This is much better because we can ride on the lower air pressure, have better compliance, much better like flats resistance, and also better traction. So this has changed also pretty much. So guys, tell me, was there a revolution in the bike industry or just an evolution? I would say it was an evolution. Each year all the brands are telling us that their new linkage is a revolution, their new something is a revolution, new clutch is a revolution. I think it was all the evolution. What also has changed, this bike, as I said, would be used for pretty much everything. Now we've got cross-country bikes, we've got trail bikes, we've got different types of trail bikes on the 27.5, 27.5 plus, 29ers. We have the enduro bikes with even more travel. So we are getting more travel, less weight, and good thing is that these bikes are also getting more durable. The carbon has become a durable material and used to be pretty fragile. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Thanks so much for staying with me. You've been watching Sick Biker.